Hello, I'm Karis Evans and welcome to Sign 7 News, bringing you the latest stories from the last week in the sign and wide format print industries. This week, Batgirl billboard shines light on Scottish printer, brand Consortia gets carbon neutral certification, Grapefruit looks back at successful year, and Designs Signage joins education drive. First, independent printing company Hobs Repro has produced a billboard for the new Hollywood production of Batgirl. The installation took part in Glasgow, where Warner Brothers has been shooting the project, set to debut on streaming later in the year. Hobs Repro was approached to provide set decorations like graphics, posters and a large wooden framed billboard using blueback paper. Next, installer and manufacturer of signage, brand Consortia, has become the UK's first carbon neutral plus sign maker. Brand Consortia has converted business operations by offsetting double its audited emissions to achieve the plus certification. Once long-term goals were set and investments made in environmentally friendly kit, Brand Consortia's carbon neutral certification was processed. Now, last week we spoke to Hampshire-based graphics company Grapefruit, which started out producing vehicle wraps to the marine industry back in 2003. Since then, the company has grown to produce a range of graphics for different applications. We spoke to General Manager Lisa Samuels about Grapefruit's recent projects, green credentials and 2022 objectives.
So I've been at Grapefruit for 14 years now, so I've worked in sort of all areas of the company, from the production and install and project management. So now I'm overall manager and oversee the guys and ensure they have what they need to do their jobs properly. Historically, our work has always been in the marine industry until about maybe 5 years ago, and we started branching out into a few more different sporting events, and that kind of picked up very quickly. So we've worked for, Wimbledon, Polo in the Park, Regent Street, a couple of different ones that aren't just sailing. Overall, 2021 was a great year for Grapefruit. Obviously, it started a little bit shaky with, I think the January was a national lockdown, so we weren't too sure what was going to go on with COVID and whether we would be allowed to travel again, and if the events industry would open back up, but it did, and we were very, very busy off the back of that. So our first major event was Tokyo 2020 Olympics for the sailing. So we supplied branding for all competitor boats, race marks, basically anything that floats on water, which was a huge amount of work for us. At the time when we needed to start production, there was still a lockdown in Tokyo and they weren't allowing anyone in or out. There was still talks of the Olympics being cancelled. So it was really when we made that decision to start the production and the printing and physically making the graphics ready for the event. So we kind of worked out how long we'd need to print to produce them all and then work backwards. So we've started to notice the price increases the last couple of months really. Everybody was putting their prices up due to Brexit, but it seems as, all of a sudden it's really starting to be noticeable. We haven't passed that on as of yet, and hopefully it will stabilise and we can leave it where it is. But the biggest sort of challenge for us with Brexit was shipping and duties and taxes for our customers. So sustainability is, it's very important to us. Trying to be as environmentally friendly as possible is very important, especially in the events industry. It's quite a throwaway industry, so trying, how we can reduce that as much as possible using the right sort of products. So steering a lot more towards PVC-free vinyls and also, scrim, flags, banners, things like that. It's basically the first thing that we offer now to customers. So Grapefruit has 4 ISO certifications, 9001 for quality management, 14001 for environmental, 2012 for sustainable events, and 45001 for health and safety. I'm currently looking into a new one that came out last year, 5005, which is for energy management. So hopefully that's something that we can get more involved with and will help us with our carbon footprint overall. But we try to take part in certain initiatives like Plastic Free July, see what we can reduce there. And there's a couple of things we did last year that have actually stuck, just like using less polythene tubing and stuff like that. We operate the Bike to Work scheme. So when there was a cycle to work day last year where the guys all made an effort to ride their bikes in, and actually that stuck for a little while too. So, you know, these small changes.
And finally, Designs Signage Solutions has pledged its support to a local initiative aimed at opening up opportunities for students and helping to shape their future employment. Delivered by Ron Deering University Technical College, the partner businesses will develop employer-led projects, providing work experience placements, information, advice and guidance for students. That's all for this week's Sign 7 News, but for now you can stay up to date with all the news in the industry at signlink.co.uk. View much more video content over on our Sign 7 News YouTube channel, or join in with the conversation on Twitter and LinkedIn. We'll see you next week.